Welcome to the King Show podcast, episode 0. The purpose of this episode is really just to lay the foundation for what this podcast is all about. As a podcast junkie myself, whenever I'm listening to a guest on a podcast that I like, I always go find their podcast and then I go back to episode 1, right? And I just start from the beginning and start binging it like it's some Netflix series or something. So that's really what this is episode 0. So for anybody just, joining us or that just found us, we're hoping that you started here. The audience that I'm trying to target here is really anyone interested in entrepreneurship, real estate, personal growth, and last but not least, land investing. Land investing or land flipping, that's really for us. That's what pays the bills. What the King Show podcast covers? Well, it's more than just land flipping. I'm going to be interviewing a lot of successful people from all industries and diving deep into the mindset, skill set, capital, and connections required to achieve extraordinary success. Some of my guests are going to include top entrepreneurs, investors, influencers, athletes, even authors. Some of the content we're going to cover, well, we'll be talking about everything from starting a 6-figure side hustle with land flipping, scaling that to 7 figures, and even just talking about a lot of successful insights and tips and tricks from highly successful individuals across all different industries. Let me just give you a little bit of my background so that you know who I am and where I'm coming from. So I've got over 20 years in real estate investing. Back in about 2013, I pivoted to land flipping. I moved from single family house investing and rentals as kind of when I discovered this, what I believe is a untapped gold mine, really a blue ocean, this niche of land and land flipping. Now, within 2.5 years, I was able to build up a 6-figure side income. This was a grind, guys. This was not an overnight success story here. About 2.5 years of overlap, getting up, commuting, traveling out of town, working the day job, and then kind of before work, after work, staying up late, putting in the hours that it took to really build up this side hustle to where it was a 6-figure thing so that I could step away from my job and go full time. So after about 2.5 years, I was able to go full time. And this is really where I started, helping others. I had a lot of free time after I went full time. Although I was working about 50 hours plus a week in my day job, I had my side hustle land business down to about 12 or 15 hours a week. So really, when I quit my day job and I went full time, I only had about 12 to 15 hours a week worth of work because that's the way we had designed it and we had built it. So I started helping others in forums, in these groups, and that really led to partnering on deals. And in addition to joint venturing, we kind of stood up, started an actual separate entity like a consulting and coaching business. And then we, co-founded a capital company to partner with students and joint venture and go in on deals together. And then we've also recently launched a tech company, Lead Boss CRM, and that's our CRM for not just land investors, but also for real estate investors, real estate agents, and people in all sorts of different businesses. So that's a little bit about my background, kind of how I got here, and really why does this podcast matter to you? Why should you listen to it? Well, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna stay authentic the whole time. That's the whole thing for me. Is that's why the workforce and the workplace and the W-2 was really never a fit for me. Is I kind of felt like you always had to put that employee mask on when you showed up and kind of fit in, to that corporate environment. So the beauty of starting your, kind of your own business and then going full time, is you get to design it how you envision it, how you want it. And really, instead of, kind of being a king in somebody else's castle, or a knight, I guess, you get to build your own empire. And the beauty of that is that when you kind of design and build your own life, and you build your own empire, you get to live authentically and be authentic. And that's really a lot of what this podcast is about, is just, authentic abundance, authentic prosperity. And I'll be interviewing a lot of guests, and the goal is that The lessons learned along the journey, myself and all these other high performing guests, we want to help listeners, right? We want to help them build, scale, and succeed, whether that's in real estate investing, land flipping, or other industries. I just think that listeners can benefit from kind of getting those like distilled and curated, and really those golden nugget, tips, successful entrepreneurs are willing to share as they come on the show as a guest. I'm also going to emphasize a lot, on like community, on growth, and really, learning from a different range of industries. There's just so much brilliance that we can borrow from other industries and apply it to our own. So what to expect, in the episodes? Well, we're going to deep dive into land flipping. We're going to be interviewing lots of different entrepreneurs. I have athletes on here. I'm going to have investors. I'm going to have agents. I'm going to have authors. And, within the episode, within the interviews, the topics I really want to focus on are kind of, hey, what mindset, what skill set, what kind of capital, and then what connections and tools are really like necessary to achieve success. I've kind of found those are kind of some of the five pillars, if you will, of success as an entrepreneur, as I feel like is mindset, skill set, capital, connections, and tools. So each of our guests, we're going to kind of be drilling down and see if we can kind of tickle out or bubble to the surface what pillars they really relied on or leaned into and what's working for them. Well, how can I help you, right? So, what I would say is, in addition to interviewing successful people and sharing insights, I would love to have you get involved in what I believe is a blue ocean of opportunity, and that's land flipping. There's a lot of, I mean, trust me, I've done almost every side hustle out there from car flipping, house flipping. We even did mystery shopping. We tried Amazon. There's just so many different things I tried when I was, Googling, side hustles prior to finding land and land investing. So I'm really a land evangelist. So I like to make people aware of this industry and make people aware of this opportunity. So I'll talk a lot about our Land Boss community. That's a community that we run and we founded and we run. It's over 1,000, serious investors focused on that niche of land flipping. Also via our land flipping mastery course, I've helped thousands of people through this self-paced online course, Land Flipping Mastery. Helped hundreds of people via my 8-week live group coaching. That's a training that I do where I'm the instructor. And it kind of goes beyond the self-paced online course. And really, we kind of take this no stones unturned approach where you can ask questions about each module in the course and I can answer those live. I've also helped, the super serious people, I guess, via one-on-one coaching. So since I started doing this about 5 years ago as a, kind of not transitioning, but kind of moved from just being that player to a player coach, where I'm an active investor, but I'm also coaching others. In the last 5 years, I've completed over 1,500 one-on-one coaching calls. So I've definitely got my finger on the pulse of the market, not just the market that I'm in. And then also along the way, right along the way, not only was this like a bucket list item, this is something I always wanted to do was write a book. I'm a big, audiobook junkie. And I've found books to really be invaluable, along my self-development journey. So I always kind of wanted to, I knew I had a book in me. And after kind of answering the same, frequently asked questions and kind of sharing all the plays in my land investing playbook, I took on this project of writing a book. Now it took me about, I thought it'd be maybe a 3 to 6 month process, took me about 2.5 years. But actually I'm the author of The Land Investor's Playbook. Now it's an Amazon bestseller. And what it has, it has strategies for land investors that are, you're looking to scale. You want to start a 6-figure side hustle with land flipping, but really what the book is about is helping you not only do that, but actually helping you scale it to 7 figures and beyond. So this is an Amazon bestseller, and I share all of that, like my background with you. I don't share any of that to brag, guys. I'm in my mid 40s, not my 20s, so I'm way over the ego. I share it because I want you to understand really what my life looked like, And about a decade ago, my life looked pretty ordinary. Okay, I was just commuting to a job, listening to podcasts, trying to find a side hustle that actually worked. After discovering land flipping as a niche, like I shared earlier, it took me about 2.5 years of really hustling and grinding and overlap, between this day job and the side hustle. But eventually we got to the point where I was making enough money and more money actually with my side hustle than my day job. And that's when I was able to go full time as an investor. And I know for possibly a lot of listeners, it's a big, big goal. That was a huge, huge milestone in my journey. Absolutely, was going full time from employee to full time investor. Well, since then, that was a number of years ago. Since then, I've learned a lot about business, and I've also learned that a lot of what we learn as we start and grow and scale businesses, that a lot of that's applicable and transferable to other businesses and second businesses. So you also start to see, as you kind of move from that employee mindset to that entrepreneur mindset, you start to see more opportunities. Okay, so for us, we went on to start three other businesses, three additional businesses beyond our land investing company. Okay, in each company, right, we've been able to experience six-figure years and eventually seven-figure years. Now, this was something that I could not even wrap my head around. I couldn't even write it as a goal a decade ago. About 10,000 a month or 100,000 a year was about big of goal as I could set. So I would have never, well, I guess I shouldn't say I would have never dreamed of it, but I would have absolutely dreamed of $1 million year, but I never would have really believed or thought it was possible. And I can share with you within even just one of our businesses, the first year we achieved $1 million year, it was absolutely incredible feeling. And it's very possible. A lot of these people from the outside that you see, they're no smarter than you. They've just recognized an opportunity, they've taken action, and they've taken consistent action, and then they've really exploited that opportunity. And that's what I'm here to share with you, is kind of break down how a lot of the people that we think are extraordinary from afar are just, came across an opportunity and took action. And that's what I'm hoping kind of your takeaway from this is, that we're going to give you insights. But there's no shortage of insights and information out there. So really, it's up to you, to take this information and implement it and put it into action. That's a good segue. My call to action is really like, hey, I would love for you not just to listen to an episode and drop off. I'd love for you to subscribe to the podcast so you can listen to this and all the future episodes. If you get value out of it, you enjoy the podcast. I'd also love for you to share it, with others. I would say probably the only two things about having a job that I do miss when I look back, as much as that commute, I hated that commute. I actually really enjoyed listening to podcasts on to and from work and long lunch breaks. That, and I guess I'd say the other thing is like the IT department. I really miss being able to call an IT department when I have issues, right? But other than those two things, absolutely love being an entrepreneur and love the life of an entrepreneur. But if you're a podcast junkie like me, you absolutely would appreciate it, if you would share it with other people. You can also visit travisking.com or thekingshowpodcast.com to check out the show notes and a bunch of other resources for not just about myself and our companies, but if you kind of want to do a deep dive and learn more about each of the guests and how you can get a hold of them and learn a little bit more about what they're doing or how they can help you, you're definitely going to want to check out travisking.com or the King Show Podcast.